Well, here we go yet again, everybody. A little bit late, but as usual, had a little technical snafu, which possibly meant I wouldn't be able to do... more technical snafu. There we go. Sometimes when the live stream starts and I use my stream deck, everything just freezes for about 3 seconds as it just did there. But I am here. I am your host. My name is Rob. And welcome to vidIQ, the creator-obsessed YouTube education channel that helps you get to the next phase of your YouTube journey. Every single week here on a Tuesdays, we welcome you onto our live stream, which is better known as our auditing lecture theatre. And some of you will have the esteemed distinction of having your channels placed on a plate and served up to us, the critiques, who have knowledge, wisdom, a lot of experience, an incredible dose of motivation, and probably a little bit of comedy along the way. I would like to know from you, since the world is currently on fire pretty much everywhere, what the temperature is right now for you, because it is boiling seemingly everywhere apart from the UK. It's 20 degrees, it's fine, nothing's wrong here, but everywhere else I'm hearing that it is very, very hot. And I'm going to ask that very same question to my coasting co-host. He is my wingman, and he goes by the name of Dan Goose.
Huh?
Hello, Dan.
Hey.
You're my wingman, as always.
Oh,
anytime.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go shoot down some bogeys, fly some planes.
That sounds hard.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What's the temperature where you are?
I don't know. Probably warm. I don't get out much.
Dan is warm in anywhere USA, apparently. Let's see what everybody else is saying. We've got 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit there. It's already 24 Celsius, a max of 32 for me. Of course, somebody... that one just disappeared. There we go. Of course, in the southern equator, it is winter right now, and it is snowing in South Africa. But it's wonderful to say hello to you. Great to see people south of the meridian on this live stream. I don't know what this comment is about, but beach boogie...
you know, it's interesting.
Awesome.
I actually polled our audience, pineapple on pizza. Guess what? The results are astounding. 62% said no, and 39% said also no.
So we've got a raging battle here between a community poll and how hot it is outside. And maybe the two can be combined with each other. Like if it is apparently 500 degrees for the daily stuff, they can just throw their pizza outside and have whatever they want. It's entirely up to them.
And they don't want pineapple. We know that scientifically. It's scientifically proven. Nobody here likes pineapple on pizza.
38 degrees in Beijing. Whew, 23 degrees Celsius in Canada. That sounds good, but unfortunately you will have no internet by this time next year, according to all of the bills that they're really causing. Oh, hello, somebody in Vancouver. Hey, unless it's Vancouver, Washington. I used to live there. What a wonderful place, and I can't believe it's only 20 degrees. Usually it's a lot hotter this time of year. But yeah, pineapples, pizzas, heat, Celsius, Fahrenheit, lots of people from all over the world. But we don't just want to talk about where you are, how hot it is, and what sort of pizza you're going to be having. We've got a job to do here because, of course, there's one more thing before we get into this. We are now officially live, which means we can start auditing your channels. Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be putting time out. If you need a channel audit right now, make sure to check out the vidIQ Coach AI tool that will help you with strategies, ideas, titles, scripts. Link in the description. It's a game changer. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started. Final bits of housekeeping for you, the vidIQ Nation. As we just mentioned, super chats do not influence whether or not we audit your channel. However, what they do allow you to do is converse with Dan and myself at particular moments during this live stream where we will open it up to super chat conversation. So get your super chats in early. We can't guarantee we'll answer them all in the second hour of this live stream. And while YouTube is a platform that welcomes all sorts of creators for all types of audiences, we have to respect our audience here at vidIQ, which is mostly PG, universal, all ages. So if we feel that your channel doesn't necessarily fit that criteria, then we may just move on and apologize if we have to do that. And I also believe, Dan, that you just have one more thing that you need to let us know about, which could massively impact the opportunity of getting a channel audit. What is that? Tell me more.
Waffles.
All right.
Waffles.
I have no idea what that means.
You better remember that I said waffles.
Turn off the echo. It's really annoying.
Sorry.
I don't want you to mess around with the fancy things you have on your Rodecaster Pro 2, because I have one as well.
Sorry, Rob.
All right, let's audit the first channel with these funky voices.
Or maybe not. Dan, the first channel that submitted this week on the live stream forms that become available when the live stream is made public 24 hours before was Dirty Side Gets Down. Now, looking at the thumbnails, I don't think we've got anything to worry about here in terms of appropriateness. You know, the channel name is somewhat funky, but I think it's to do with car mechanic and automotive infotainment, as they describe on their about section. So, like, just first impressions from you. Like, you're looking at this channel for 20 seconds. Do you know what you're going to get out of it? Is that going to be right for the target audience that this creator is presumably targeting?
It seems very car focused. So I'm getting hints of automobile and vehicles, which is good because I think that's where they're probably mostly their bread and butter is. What I'm not sure about are like the very specific things they're doing. So for example, like the latest video, Holly Sniper Stealth Progressive Linkage, why it won't work. Like, that is a string of words. That is certainly words put together in a row. And I don't know what they mean in that order. Now, the target audience may know what it means. But what does it do is my question. And I ask this question because what if I was like kind of getting into this as like a new car enthusiast? Maybe I'm 17 years old and I just got my first car. And I want it to sound, I want my neighbors to wake up every time I come home at 12 a.m. after sneaking out of the house. Like, I want everyone in the neighborhood to hear how loud this car is for miles. Is that what it does? Because that's probably what I'm going to search for. How to get loud car. I'm kind of joking, but at the same time, I'm being serious in the sense that I would love to know what these things do, because if these are parts that you can stick on almost any car, that's really important to know. If these are parts for a very specific car and you're teaching how to fix a very specific car, then I need the make and model of the thing. I need of the car. I need to know exactly what part that is, because I need that to be targeted towards search. But if you're trying to reach a general audience and these are parts that are like aftermarket mods, because by some of the other titles and thumbnails, I'm getting a sense of there's like an aftermarket kind of thing going on here. Yeah, it should appeal to that wider audience. I don't know what that stuff does, and I think that's what you need to lead with. But that's just my first take.
So perhaps it's so jargony and so inside baseball that it's going to appeal to such a small niche that they may hit a ceiling relatively quickly. Maybe that's what you're kind of hinting at. And I can see where you're coming from. I think what I will just counter with at the moment, the channel size that they are with 320 subscribers, the view counts are very, very encouraging. Like some of these videos are getting more views than subscribers. That's always like a on the surface indicator that the channel is hitting an audience and then YouTube's testing it with new audiences. But I see what you're saying. This holy sniper stealth progressive, I think that the keyword? That is like the one real super niche that they're focusing on within automotive infotainment.
And I think that should be included in a lot of titles, but I also think a video about what it does is important, at least one, if not more, so that you get a wider audience. And then when you do the more specific videos about what the thing is, how to install it, then you're using more technical names. So I'm just wanted to caveat my advice by saying, like, I'm not saying all your videos going forward you should change the strategy. It just, you have to think about each individual video and like who it's for. This is for my community. They know this stuff really well, so I'm going to title it this way. This is for discoverability. I want new people to find it, so I got to title it this way. And we use those two buckets here at vidIQ a lot. Community videos versus discovery videos. On Friday is a community video, one that we're not super worried about in terms of like getting new viewers. We're trying to do something for our current viewers. So we actually like strategize ahead of time, like what kind of video we're going to be making. And I think this is like the perfect channel for that.
I think what they have succeeded in doing here, Dan, is that or at least I often believe that tiny, micro, small channels have their first sliver of success with a search-based video. And it seems to be the case here. Like they were getting maybe just under 100 views, just over 100 views. And then they do the holy sniper and it gets 1,000 views. And they've gone back to that well for more than 50% of their videos since. And the view counts are again slightly up. I think it's awesome that they've been discovered, as you say, probably through search. How do they convert those search-based viewers now into more browse and suggested, which is where they hopefully want to go forward. And as you say, Dan, it may be more about the desire of the ideal viewer, who might be they want to get this modification to their car that makes it sound louder or more sporty, etc., etc. And how can you maybe construct a thumbnail and a title that has that more broad-based appeal? But I don't think the creator's done anything necessarily wrong right now. I think they've been discovered, and that's a real positive. Now, how do they build an audience beyond search? Because what we don't want you to be is getting most of your search traffic in 6 to 12 months' time, because that will mean you're a utility channel rather than an entertainment channel, and you're going to struggle to build a brand around that. And then I think, Dan, if we just give some general observations to the thumbnails, which I would say are a bit too busy, a bit too everything's in the foreground. So I don't know what my eye should be tracking first. And on some of these, not all, but on some of these, there's not a dominant color, which means that everything tends to blend into each other.
There's text that just kind of like hangs out there. So I'm looking at the airbag install one, and it's just kind of weird the way it's designed. First of all, the word install is almost invisible because it's red and it's in a dark shadow, and I would just gone white text on both of those. So if you would match the color of the text, it would have unified the text a little bit better, and then it would make more sense to see the cars in the middle. But it's like the word airbag and the word install, and they're just kind of like separate from each other in every way. And then like you got the hanging idle or hanging what's inside, like these two thumbnails with the white background where they've put their text over a logo a little bit, kind of like overlaps, and then like there's a picture, like they're almost identical thumbnails with like very subtle differences in the words. So like, yeah, sometimes it feels like they're not exactly sure what the thumbnail should be, and it's kind of an afterthought. And one thing we would encourage is for any channel to at least plan the thumbnail before you start recording the video. Like in your head, what's the first thing someone's going to see before they click on it? Because that's important going into the video. You start to think about what the intro is going to look like after the click, And yeah, I think just practice. Like all the things that you and I are pointing out here are kind of radical changes, right, for this channel. So they should kind of take it slow, do your best, but look to make improvements, like research thumbnails a little bit, and then just look to make improvements incrementally over time. I don't want to stress anyone out, because sometimes we get into this. We like, you should do this and you should do this. And we take for granted how difficult that is for some folks, like who are just still learning their photo editing software or, what have you. And every niche is going to have different standards for thumbnails. So we encourage you to go out and look at your competition and see how they're doing thumbnails, especially the channels that are performing very well.
Yep. You've done some shorts, maybe just dabbling in them. That's good to see. And I think what I will summarize this channel audit with is, other than let's build out the description a little bit, you have already solved one of the biggest problems that many creators struggle with when they start a channel, and that's the target audience. I think you know your target audience, even if you've not written it down on paper or anything, or actually taking time to think about it. You do know who you're speaking to with passion with every single video that you make, which means that you get very consistent views and probably a return in audience. So Dirty Side gets down. I highly applaud you on solving that big problem as you start your YouTube journey. And we wish you all the best going forward. And that means it's now time to audit our first gaming channel. This channel submitted on the 4th, and they go by the name of Blaze Channel. And Dan, what I'm seeing here is a collection of Mega Man videos and Age of Ishtaria. I probably pronounced that wrong. 2 games I'm not familiar with. I don't know if Mega Man X6 or X7 are recent games in the genre or in the series. View counts look as if they're struggling to jump above 50 at the moment, which is a concern given that they have 800 subscribers. Did they have some success in the past? I'll throw it over to you for your thoughts as I just explore the channel a little bit more.
The thumbnails, just because we were just talking about thumbnails, I would give this creator the same exact advice as the last channel. We're very busy. The thumbnails just kind of feel like different logos and characters and just kind of like whatever you can like scrap together with like different images you have. Like they feel too busy. Like the eye has nothing to focus on. So I would make sure you are considering that with your thumbnails. Let's see here. Just using the community tab. These images work really well in the community tab, by the way. Like they're a lot larger.
Yep.
And the audience scrolling through YouTube can see them a lot better. Thumbnail wise, like this is what people see before they click on your video. So the views being low don't surprise me too much, because out of every single one of these, it doesn't look like a gaming channel. I thought this was an anime channel, and we're not getting any hint of like what's going to happen in the video at all.
Yeah.
So with that, I kind of wonder, like, if you click into one of these, is it gaming? There's the old PS1.
Brings back memories. So have they literally just booted up the game?
Yeah. So is there commentary?
Let me just put it up a bit. It just sounds like some generic Japanese rock music.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like nothing other than cutscenes up until actually playing the game.
Is there? I don't even know if there's gameplay. It looked like just strung together. Like,
let's just check another one.
Yeah, I want to see if there's gameplay on this channel.
It did say there was gameplay in the about section, but I'm not seeing any. Oh, maybe there's some here.
A 14-minute video.
Looks like there's some more. Okay, so there is here. Let me just.
Okay, that's good. So a lot of music.
No commentary, I believe. Just playing the game.
Yeah, no commentary.
Stuff.
So, okay, we get to like the basic questions now. It's like when someone clicks on one of the other videos with the music and the cutscenes, it's like, well, why is this here? You just kind of took a cutscene and put it on YouTube. Then the other question when we get into gameplay videos is, why should someone watch? Like, you're playing the game. Are you going for some kind of record? Are you playing with some kind of self-imposed challenge? What are the stakes? Why am I watching? Or like, I think when you post a gameplay video like this, where it's a linear game, it's just a platformer, like when you look at other channels that are really successful in this platformer space, they're normally like speed running channels. The person, even if they're not a great speed runner, they're almost doing it ironically, but they're trying to break some kind of record. And if you're gonna have a channel like this, that's kind of the direction you need to go, in my opinion, because what you're making right now is like the equivalent of me booting up Mega Man and playing it at home. Like, I can get that content at home. I need to come to YouTube and be entertained in some way. And I know that sounds harsh. I know it kind of takes what you're doing and just kind of like completely suggests you change it. But you have like tons of these videos where you're getting under 50 views, which has to be frustrating because it just feels like you're kind of you're grinding, like you're still putting these together. It still takes time, you know, and you're not seeing the results you want to see. It's because it doesn't feel right now like you're targeting any specific audience. It's like maybe if they like Mega Man and one of these other games you've played, and that's it. Like there's no reason to watch. It's just kind of, you know, free marketing for these games, I guess. Without any commentary, without anything going on, it's really hard to like advise anything else for this channel.
Indeed, I agree very much so. And there's also the added handicap's possibly not the right word, but the barrier of the games that you're playing, which are relatively old. They do have a hardcore fan base, but Dan, as you say, if you're not really adding anything unique to these very old games, I'm sure all of these passionate fans of a game have played through it already. So they've seen all of this stuff before. It's like, how do you bring something new to the table? And I think the creator should probably start there with, I think you know who your audience is, but what are you going to bring to them that makes you a channel to return to time and time again? There was one final point as well. If I go to the most popular, they were doing some videos on these animes a time ago, and these have tens of thousands of views. And these may be influencing your audience a little bit right now. They just capture one of these on a browse, and then the next thing they're shown is a Mega Man thumbnail. It's probably not a huge crossover in audience between those two formats. So you may want to unlist these if they're still getting in traffic. Something to consider as well. But that is the first gaming channel this week. And of course, as we're auditing a gaming channel, it means that we have to get a little bit self-indulgent, as we do every single week, which is Rob Wilson's Gaming Corner. Because I know a lot of you are gamers yourself. So let us know in the comments right now what video game you are playing. But not only that, and more importantly, what game does this sound effect come from?
Come on.
Have a think about it. Have a think about it. If you think that's dead easy, because Dan thinks it's dead easy, I want to know which game it came from. Not just the franchise, which game. I'll give you it one more
still
time.
Very easy.
Dan, I have been playing God of War Ragnarok, as you and the vidIQ Nation all know, for a couple of months. I completed it at lunchtime. As far as I'm aware, I knocked off the final bosses. It gave me the credits and then said, hey, you've still got a few more things that you need to do in this game, so go off and do them. So I think probably for the next couple of days, I'll be knocking off all of these bits because I love to get 100% on all of the maps and whatnot. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Brilliant game.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it for release another one, but it could be several years.
You finished just in time for Diablo 4 Season 1.
Oh, wonderful. I won't be playing that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what
I've got the PSN network now, so I've got to go through all of the first-party PlayStation games like Horizon, Ratchet and Clank, Sackboy, and all of that stuff. What are you playing?
That's Diablo. I'm doing all of my prep for Season 1, and it's been fun and taking up a lot of my time in the evenings, and then I'm forgetting to do things.
So is there a story mode, but then beyond that, like they add more seasons? Is it like single player, multiplayer? Tell me a little bit more.
It's always online, and there's like, you got people running around, but most of the time, like I'm just playing alone, just ignoring everything around me. And yeah, so there's like a campaign, but in Diablo, the campaign is almost a thing that gets in the way. Like you finish it, you're like, okay, good. Yeah. Like it's the thing you need to do, and then you can get to the real game, which is like after the campaign. So we're now in that section. And then what's cool is a lot of stuff that you do now carries over to any other character you make, including the seasonal ones. So there's a lot of like pressure to play before the season, so you can be prepared, which is frustrating as a player. because I kind of want to break from it, if I'm being honest, because the season's in a few days, and I'm like, I could put this down, but no, you have to play. You can't stop playing.
So this is what all of the vidIQ Nation are playing right now. Incorrect. That one.
Mario Kart.
I do have a question though. This is interesting. You know, we talk about you should try and avoid having 2 games on a channel. Do you ever double dip when you're playing a video game, or do you try and stick to one game completely and then move on to the next thing? Because I try and do that religiously. I'll go hardcore on one game, and when I'm done, okay, I'll move on to the next thing. I don't like to split my game playing time and resources between 2 different games.
Want to be that way, but I think I usually play like 3 or 4 at a time. So it's kind of, but you know, don't start a gaming channel. That's all I have to say.
I want to play this game. It sounds fun. Monetization speedrun.
You can play it anytime and just roll a channel and get started.
Sounds cool. All right. So I think a lot of you got this right. I can't see anyone specifically saying it. So Dan, tell me, sound effect, game.
That's not just Zelda. That's the Ocarina of Time opening a chest sound effect.
You are correct. The first 3D, fully 3D Zelda, when the franchise went downhill, in my honest opinion. But it is. You are correct.
The game is below.
Nah, it was all right. Gosh. Come on, who's with me? I've forgotten the name of the game now. Blimey. The best Zelda. What's it called? A Link to the Past. SNES. Can't beat it.
Do you want to look at some more channels?
Who agrees with me? No, just first of all, who agrees with me? All right, let's move on. Dan, the next channel we're going to audit is Angry Owl Outdoors. They are approaching 2,000 subscribers, which is encouraging to see, given that they don't have that many long-form videos, so they must have plenty of shorts. Did they advertise themselves as a long or a shorts channel?
A long channel.
Okay, so introduce us to what we have here.
Yeah, I was really impressed by this channel, Angry Owl Outdoors, because they're almost at 2,000 subscribers. I have a feeling by now they're probably monetized thanks to that 60K video there.
Well, at least,
178K.
These 2 bangers now.
Yeah, look at that. So really cool stuff to see. And I think they probably have a lot of really early data now as to what works and doesn't work. So what's interesting is like those 2 videos in the middle are about like survival and survival shelters and just stuff like what those are like tutorials and challenges kind of just like smashed together. I didn't watch. I'm just saying, like, from a viewer's perspective, isn't clicked yet. It's like I'm going to learn something, and also this person's like putting themselves through like a lot. Whereas the later videos here, like the best bags and things like that, I think those videos are doing crappy now, but could do better in the future thanks to search and thanks to like people looking for those specific bags. And I say crappy just compared to the other 2 videos. Like I would be very annoyed by that view count after getting 170 something thousand views on something.
Yeah.
But I think it's good that they're doing it, because what it does is it helps early on, like show people like, hey, like I do these survival challenges, but also I can offer a lot of value for anyone else who's like outdoorsy and hiking, does all that stuff. So I would encourage them to keep doing that and maybe just do some more research on titles and thumbnails so you can try to get some better results on those videos in terms of search. But where I think you're going to see the most success is these videos where you're going out and trying to survive under certain conditions.
Yep.
Super crazy to see. It's awesome.
As we were talking at the top of this live stream, the world is on fire right now. It is super hot. So is there almost a 180 version of this video that you could make right now of like how to stay safe and cool in the outdoors when it's this hot? I know forest fires and bushfires can be a huge problem, especially in BC where I used to live. And I seem to remember that New York was under like terrible pollution from wildfires earlier on in the year. So summer hazards are becoming more of a danger. I don't know personally how you fit this into survival outdoors. The creator knows more than me in this particular topic, but yeah, it may be a little too late because it may take you days or weeks to create this content, but just thinking about what's in store in the future in terms of survival, I think heat is just as much a danger as the freezing, frigid temperatures that they've experienced when they were doing these videos in the middle of winter. Thumbnails. What do you think about thumbnails?
What I like about these thumbnails is I think they fit the vibe of this niche pretty well. Like when I see these survival kind of videos, it's not someone's face going, "Oh, shocked face," and then like, a bunch of sticks in the background. It usually is something like this, more zoomed out, showing kind of what they've built, and it gives you some perspective as to like, what you're going to physically see happen in the video. Like so that winter one is good in the sense that like you have fire that's raging and you have this tent and it's in the middle of like this snowy abyss. I think in that sense, it's like a good thumbnail. Does it follow all the practices that we normally talk about? No. Did it matter? Not in that case, because I think it was about communicating a simple message. Like, here's what the title is: Winter Survival Night Shelter. And what's in the thumbnail? Hey, that's probably the shelter, the night shelter from the title. Remember the title? So I like these thumbnails in that way. I think some of them could be better, like the backpack one. The background isn't great because it's really
Yeah.
bright, so it's hard to read the text. It's I was looking at the other one, but yeah, that too. It's hard to read the text on that one because it's like on a mountain. But yeah, in these cases, like the product shots are not as good as I would like to see them, and mostly because of the environment that they're in. So I would be kind of adjusting those a little bit. So yeah, I think there's some like hits and misses here.
It looks like there's maybe been a filter applied to some of these.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you're what looks to be reviewing a bag with camouflage on it in the type of terrain where the camouflage sort of fits in quite nicely. So just when you shrink down the thumbnail size, makes it even more difficult to just pick out immediately on the channel. But yeah, as you say, Dan, the white of the cold contrasting with the red and the heat, it's very subliminal, very instinctive in terms of the thumbnails. I do think they could be better. I still think, even with the videos that were very successful, they were freeze frames from the video. So there's maybe a lack of focus, a lack of detail. And in this one in particular, again, just the mishmash of almost like camouflage rock terrain colors.
Yes.
What you're wearing. All right, the shelter does stick out, but I'm having to use a magnifying glass to see a bit more detail. And
yeah, you almost don't see the person.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Like you can have another thumbnail that follows the same practices, but like the execution could be still way off. And so I think you're right there. Like the latest video, I think would perform a lot better with a thumbnail more similar to the one in the middle, which might be hard to replicate, but you need to just make it look like a survival shelter. Right now, it looks like you stumbled upon an old camp that was just like, kind of like falling apart and you took a picture of it. Like, cause it looks like just some sticks on the ground and then, oh, is that like a tarp or something? Whereas the one where you're sitting inside the tent, like from a different perspective in the fire, like I can really get a sense of what's happening in that one.
I was just doing a quick search on survival, figuring if that is your super weapon keyword. It's succeeded in 3 of your videos, not necessarily in the bag review. But like you say, Dan, I think there's quite a contrast here between what are probably very strong storytelling videos, the Winter Survivor Shelter, and then there's just the utility reviews where you almost have to publish and forget for 6 months to see if it is going to get picked up by search and so on.
Yeah.
Are there potential opportunities when you talk about these bags and review this equipment within these storytelling videos? That might be something you want to experiment with as well. And then finally, I don't know if you've done this yet because I've not checked, but have you taken these 2 videos and turned them into stories that you can tell in a YouTube Shorts? I don't know yet. Just looking at the shorts, I think there's work to do because you're basically taking a landscape video and trying to just shove it into a short, and you can see that you're getting some really heavy letterboxing. I'll click on one just see if there's any audio stuff at the top or bottom. It's really sound. Just some music there, so time lapse. So yeah, probably room for improvement on the shorts if you want to explore that. But right now, your longs are performing well, and it's probably want to be your main focus for the channel. And the silence tells me Dan agrees 100%. All right, just before we move on, I just want to say a huge congratulations to one of the vidIQ family, Jeff El Jefe. Oh, perfect timing. Was Jeff in the green room there?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. I didn't realize that. Oh, hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. How you guys doing?
I am awesome. Jeff, I genuinely didn't know that you were in the green room, but I wanted to just make sure that we gave you a huge shout out because you are a new, freshly minted member of the 100,000 subscriber club. And so you get all sorts of wonderful sound effects, and everybody congratulate Jeff in the chat. I assume you'll be getting your silver play button eventually. And I would just ask you if there's one pearl of wisdom that you would want to share with the vidIQ Nation about your journey to 100,000 subscribers, what would that be?
Don't expect viral videos to take you to the top. Hard work and consistency is where it's at.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Jeff, it's an honor to have you on. Let's move on to the next channel. This channel is called Bricktastic. And I guess, Jeff, as the new member to this current live stream, tell us first impressions, what you can see from the Shorts channel.
Well, I like the fact, from what I'm seeing here now, mind you, I'm a Lego guy. So one thing I like here is, and I think we've seen this format before, where somebody's doing shorts specifically on individual minifigures.
Yep.
So, which to me is pretty interesting. And now I'm not sure what approach they're taking with the shorts, but it's actually kind of a smart play because there's so many, I mean, literally thousands of different characters from all the different themes, from all the different options that you have from Lego, that you can make so many videos. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of cool. As long as you have a good enough camera to where you can get them in focus up close, like something that has good focusing distance, you can do an excellent job. So yeah, this is interesting. I'm gonna have to check this out. I like the Bartman figure.
Almost by look as well. The thumbnails are excellent, aren't they? Like, you don't get a choice on the thumbnails, but every single time it's just like a super sharp, detailed image of a character.
Well played.
I'm going to play one of these, but what I'm going to have to do is immediately mute the video, and I'll tell you why in a second. Oh, it's already muted, which is good. So this is basically a shot. Legs, body, maybe like an accessory, head, another thing in a hand, done. 10 seconds, move on. What is interesting is that there is no voiceover or anything. You see that image down there? That means that they're taking a popular song and just putting it over the shot, so they have some music. And I think they've used that same song multiple times. So different video, same song, Unstoppable. Different shot, same shot, same song. So I guess from my point of view, uniqueness, branding, individual channel identity, maybe that needs a little bit of work because there is no voiceover. Dan, what are your initial thoughts here?
I think with all of the views I'm seeing on the older ones, all of these probably get some pretty decent views. Like, I'm sure the channel's very happy even when they get like 7,000 views versus one that get like 20,000. Like, what I would like to see is an evolution happen over time. Like, once you feel like you've built all your minifigures like time and time again, is there anything else you can do with this content? Like, I love your setup, first of all. If I saw any minifigure on that white background, if I was just looking on my short shelf one day, I would know it's you. I would know, like, oh, that's the person that builds the minifigures. What do they have today? You know?
Good point.
So that level of branding is also really good. And I think you should continue this framing, but can you do more? Like, what if you started mixing the pieces together? And what if you started adding commentary where you were telling a bit of a story, maybe about how you found the minifigure, or maybe a story that doesn't even have anything to do with the minifigure, a short story that takes as much time for you to tell as it does to build a little minifigure. Like, I've seen that too, where something visually interesting is happening on the screen, but whatever they're talking about has nothing to do. You know what I mean? Like, you could do a lot with very, very simple concepts like this. And I think you've tried the song and stuff for a while. Once you get sick of that, once you feel like you've kind of hit a wall with it, I would then start playing around with other concepts, but using the same format.
What I might like to see the creator do is buy one of those mini turntables so that you can build the character and then do like a 360 spin around of it, like in like a speed time lapse almost. effect. But yeah, I like the idea of Dan starting to tell stories or just audio commentary, like or an interesting fact about when did this Bart character appear in The Simpsons or something along those lines. And I did sort by most popular, and there are examples of popular videos that aren't just building a character. Some of these are like, I guess, building it from a different angle. That's maybe one way of doing it. And I'm sure I saw as well in one of these, like a speed build as well, which is done performed quite well. And this was to Mariah Carey's All I Want For You Is Christmas. That was kind of like time sensitive. Nice little piece of work there.
Nice.
Again, very
Lego
short,
wreath.
very shorts as well. Like, they're not wasting the viewer's time. They know they're gonna probably want to move on in about 10 seconds. So well paced shorts as well.
Yeah, overall excellent. I like the. But here's the interesting thing too. Even the ones where they didn't have that front facing angle where they're going top down, so the thumbnail doesn't kind of make sense. They still did well because it's like one of those things where it kind of didn't matter because the way that a lot of these videos are probably coming through browse, like on the shorts feed. So it's pretty interesting to see it. Although it looks a lot cleaner when you're looking at their page.
Yeah.
It kind of proves a partial point there that it's not that important, because people aren't technically clicking on these.
I guess one final question for Bricktastic is, what's the goal of the channel? Because is it going to get tens of millions of views per month, and then you're going to be able to become a full-time content creator from just AdSense from YouTube Shorts? I would say that is unfortunately very unlikely. So what's the opportunity here? Affiliate links of the Lego products, starting to do some long form content, some live streams. I can see this channel potentially getting millions of views, but I don't know how they, as you say, Dan, like, and Jeff, like, when they get bored of doing this, they get bored of doing it. And other than views, what have they got out of it?
Right. Well, I mean, sometimes that's that it feels good to take something that you enjoy, like collecting Legos, and then documenting it and getting views on top of it. It kind of, one of the reasons I started making YouTube videos way back in the day with my very first gaming channel was that I was playing a lot of games, but it kind of felt like I wanted to give more to myself. Like, I'm playing these games and that's great, but like, what if I could do something more with my gameplay? And you know, it kind of became a matter of like sharing and documenting what I was doing in these games, which gave my hobby more purpose, and it felt really good to start to like build a community and an audience around that. So maybe that's what it is. I would love to know from you guys, like, what do you feel like your channels, what purpose do they serve other than, well, I get views and subscribers? Like, what do you enjoy about YouTube outside of the rat race of like trying to grow?
That's a good question to ask our audience, Dan. Do let us know in the chat. While we do actually go to the chats to look at the super chats. Say chats fast 10 times.
Chat.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. It's actually not that difficult.
But I agree, though. Asking that question of yourself early on as a creator can really kind of help you have a North Star. Like, and the goals can be totally different. You know what I mean? So it can be that you're trying to, earn money. You're trying to earn a living, or you're trying to save towards something, or then there's nothing wrong with that. Or you really are just trying to get subscribers for subscribers' sake. Also, nothing wrong with that. But identifying that so that you can take steps to move in that direction, give yourself a game plan, is super important. I wish I would have done it much earlier in my own YouTube career.
Dan, cheers for bringing up all of those comments, and thank you for thinking about that question and answering it in the comments. It's awesome stuff. Can anybody hear the background music? I always find it's a little difficult to level properly. It is playing. I can barely hear it. I'm going to crank it up a little bit, but I don't want to make it too loud.
Now I can hear it.
Right, but it's not too loud?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. With that, let's take a look at the super chats. Now, what we do is whenever we have someone from the vidIQ Nation become an official member of that nation, which means that they can post emojis, we get a unique, at least for the live stream, sound effect that comes from Jeff. So Royal KW Gaming gets this. Thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciated. Dan, we've got a little bit of an update for members, right?
Yeah.
You're working on something in the background.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask this. So especially of our members or anyone interested in becoming a member, what are some emotes? And if Victoria, if you're here, can you please write some of these suggestions down that you like? What are some emote suggestions that you have? We're starting to collect them in the background, but there's a few more slots I want to fill up, and I would love to know from you guys what fun little emotes you would love to see in chat if you become a member. So let us know. We will take down our favorites, and we appreciate the suggestions.
Maybe say hashtag emotes and then describe them, and it'll be easier for us to capture them. Because we're going to be making them soon, so now's the chance to get involved in some unique emotes for our members. All right, we do actually have a question here from MBX Films. How to prevent kids from watching my retro toy content without resorting to adult words and thumbnails? Content suggestions tells me kids are viewing.
I got it. Talk about how much you can write off on your taxes for each retro toy that you buy.
Yes.
That'll drive those kids away.
Yes.
That'll do it. Talk about taxes and homework.
Yeah.
You can't is the simple answer, I think.
Yeah, we really can't control who clicks on our videos to an extent, especially when it's something that is interesting both to children and adults. Even if the content is meant for adults, there's really no way to filter them out. So yeah, that's the rough part. It's like saying, oh, I only want people from one country watching my videos. The best thing you can do is make videos that are interesting specifically to that target audience, but you still can't stop people from, Brazil watching if you're trying to target the United States. It's going to be what it is.
Indeed. Good advice there, Jeff. We have another new member to the vidIQ Nation. All right. Warning, Gen X Wave. Warning, Gen X Wave has become a member. The next question comes from Miyogi, who already is a member. Hi, I hit 1,000 subscribers. Can I monetize? Not got the watch time. So, not yet. You will need 4,000 hours of watch time as well. If you have 3,000 hours of watch time, then you can apply for YPP Lite, which will give you access to super thanks, super chats, memberships. But my guess is you're probably a little short of 4,000 hours of watch time. If you search 4,000 watch hours vidIQ on YouTube, you will get a bundle of videos that can help you on that goal. We wish you the best of luck getting that second requirement. The next question comes from Christian Rocker. How can a reaction channel be full-time profitable?
Well, same way any channel could, I suppose. Like reaction channels, you got to be careful not to upload a video that contains the entirety of the video you're reacting to, right? Like you got to chop it up and give your reaction and give people, like the whole point of like those rules is that they want to make sure that people have a chance to go and like watch the original piece of content. So as long as you're following all the rules, you're staying within what you believe are the terms of fair use, there's no problem in terms of monetization. It's then reacting to things and bringing your unique perspective like any other channel. Like it's just being who you are and the best version of that person and trying to grow an audience like everybody else. But what do you guys think? Is there anything I'm missing there?
I mean, diversification is really going to be super important for reaction channels because they deal with copyright claims badly, whether it's movies, whether it's music, whatever it is you're reacting to, they get claimed a lot. Or the videos might get blocked in specific regions, whatever it might be. So AdSense really isn't something to depend on. So that's something where you would want to start exploring partnerships, whether it's, you can start off with affiliate partnerships as you grow your channel to start bringing in money outside of YouTube. Start thinking of other alternative ways of getting paid, whether it's merchandise, whether it's memberships, any of that sort of stuff. Patreon is a big one for a lot of the reaction channels that I watch. So diversified revenue streams are really the way that you want to go. Don't put all your eggs in one basket with AdSense. Try to find other ways of fan funding and affiliate sales and direct products.
It is kind of a dirty phrase, isn't it? But monetizing your audience is something that this creator is going to have to do. And the way you do that is first of all building trust and loyalty with them, and getting them to invest in your journey as a reaction channel and your passion for the things that you're reacting to. A good example of this might be you, instead of doing videos on demand, you live stream react to content, and that allows you to be involved with the audience and let them almost govern a live stream a little bit, and then you get super thanks, super chats, that type of a contribution as well. So yeah, building a personality and a brand around your content that reacts to what you're all as a community interested in is going to be the key focus for becoming a full-time reaction channel. There are examples of this on YouTube, so do some research as well.
Yeah, community first, money second.
Lovely. This might be a riddle. I don't know. Shelley Fascinates says, homemade CP soaps requires 6 weeks to show final result, while MP soaps take only a day for soaps to be ready, but CP soaps are easier and more attractive than MP soaps. Which should I start? Here's my answer. Yes. I have no idea what they're talking about. Anyone?
Well, okay, it's like anything, right? Like one. Okay, so let me just try and get this straight. So one of them takes 6 weeks to get the final result. And then the other one is like, no, I can do this in a day. But of course, the ones that take 6 weeks are more aesthetically pleasing, I guess. So here's the answer. Both.
Yep.
So what you do is I want you to take time to do the CP soaps like for a while, right? Like just build up a backlog in the background. And then in the meantime, you're doing the MP soaps. Like, will those videos do as well? I don't know. Maybe try and frame them differently. Show your process for making those, or whatever. I don't even know what this channel is exactly doing with the soap, but yeah, I would maybe use that to experiment with different styles of content. If the CP stuff is like a win for you, that soap, then you'll just do a little bit slower.
Yeah, I agree. Why not have a mix of content? You can have, let's say, theoretically, that you're making 8 videos a month. I'm just throwing this number out there, completely random. 8 videos a month. Let's say that 7 of them will be the easy to make, and then the 1 per month will be the one that takes you a lot longer to do. There's no problem with doing that. So yeah, I would say do both, especially if both of them are aimed at people who are either looking to buy soap, looking to make their own soap. If it's all the same target audience, there's no reason why you can't do both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. So they're both soap. It'd be different if you were talking about a completely different product, but being that they're both soap, I don't see why you can't just do both.
And here's my frontier gibberish advice. Have you thought about shampoo? Next question. Joshua Yu. Thoughts on successful no-talk type channels, e.g. gaming, travel videos? What tips from their successes would you give to all? Some have focused content, good thumbnails, etc. Thanks for helpful content.
So yeah, having good thumbnails and all that stuff is kind of like what's required of all videos, I would say. So if you're seeing channels that are successful and they have that, that's only step one. You have to look at, okay, there's no talking in it, but what is it about? If there's no talking, it's still about something. It still brings value to somebody. So for example, when a brand new game comes out, there's a number of channels out there that do an entire playthrough of the game silently. Like they record, they get the game early, right? Because they've been around a while, and they just record themselves playing the game. And the reason that has value is because they upload it as soon as the embargo lifts, and a bunch of people get to see firsthand what this game is going to be like. If they want to spoil it for themselves, they'll watch that content. So that content has value, right? It also kind of dies quickly once everyone gets their hands on the game. There's other ways no talking channels can work as well, because maybe they are trying to meet a certain goal, and they don't necessarily need their commentary. Maybe they'll put some text on the screen here and there. Maybe it's just the tense music and the timer ticking in the corner. So it still has to be something for somebody about something. That's the main key. Does it have to have talking? No, we recommend talking because that's a really good way to show you and your unique personality, and then the video inherently becomes unique. But that's still only like one piece of the puzzle.
Dan, I'm giving you a knowledge bomb sound effect there, because I was really going to struggle with that question. So fantastic answer from you there. We've got 10,000. Is that 10,000 or 10 million? 10,000 IDRs. Thanks. I'm not sure what that currency is. But Barbarista, thank you for the super chats. Maybe that was a sticker. Sometimes it's a bit unclear on StreamYards. Fraser Elphick, can I make a living on YouTube without a team?
Oh yeah, Jeff,
Lots
totally.
of nodding here. Yep.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. So that's another leans into diversifying. But yes, you can totally do that. I don't have a team. I am a team of one as far as my channel is concerned. And yeah, I mean, technically on certain months, I can totally earn a living. So overall, like if I average it out, yeah, definitely. So it just depends on what kind of channel you are, what kind of topic you're talking about, and how well you diversify your revenue streams.
I guess maybe the counter question is, why do you want to always be an individual creator? I appreciate fully that when you start your channel, you just love the idea of complete freedom and control over the thing that you're crafting and cultivating. But I think for most creators, there comes a point that when you're successful, you do want to kind of offload some stuff to people who are more knowledgeable, more experienced, or it's just the stuff you hate doing. You know, you find people to fill the gaps that you either hate or aren't very good at. So
buy your time back.
Yeah, you buy that. Absolutely, Jeff, you buy the time back to do the things that you love and enjoy. So by all means, continue to go solo for as long as you want and build successfully. But the moment you have maybe a bit of budget to say, that's going to save me 10 hours if I don't have to do that, or this person is going to 5x my productivity or whatever, it may be worth doing. And I know that can be a wrench. That can be really hard to let go of having full control. But I think most creators who've ultimately done that become even more successful. How many more super chats have we got? We've still got plenty. So let's do maybe a couple more. 9 finger wrenching. Working on YouTube since November, 48 videos in growth, hit the gas, 28 days, 9,000 views. There's a lot of numbers here. Up 3.5 views from norm, 640 watch hours, up from 370 norm, 170 norm. My mind's been blown. Is it great? Numbers are up, I think, is what they're trying to say.
Basically,
they're
yeah.
here all the time, and so just 9 finger wrenching. Congrats to you, and it's just awesome to see.
Yeah, man.
Great.
Love to see that.
And EV Pulse. Hey, a bit of a plug-in here of the AI coach is pretty cool. But how are you using it for your channels, especially Jeff? Oh, okay.
Yeah, EV Pulse is one of our vidIQ Max members.
Nice.
So yeah, as far as like using it for different stuff, it just depends. Sometimes for me, normally I think, or what I end up getting the most use out of it will be on title recommendations. So usually I'll have an idea of what I want a title to be. So I'll prompt the AI coach with something like, can you give me 5 titles can you give me 5 titles with less than 60 characters for a video about, and then I put in whatever the keywords the video is about. And then usually it'll give me 5 pretty good titles. Now, I don't use these titles verbatim. So this is one of the things that I want to make sure people are doing with our AI suggestions. Don't use it verbatim. Don't copy and paste exactly what it says. Use that and modify it to fit your audience and what the goal of your video is. So usually I'll mix and match them to get something that sounds much better, or I'll rearrange them. But I have never to this day, using them exactly verbatim. I'll still move words around to kind of make sure that things are working correctly. But that's usually how I'll use it myself on my channel at the moment.
And in the background, what I've just quickly asked our AI coach to do is give me 5 community post ideas for the vidIQ channel, because it's tied to the channel. Scan my channel and said, yeah, let's talk about content preferences, success stories, channels growing fast, which Dan, you did one of them on Monday. We kind of eaten our own dog food there. I asked challenges, tips and tricks behind the scenes, that type of thing. So all stuff that would be associated around the YouTuber life. And it did that in about 10 seconds. There's a link in the description, I believe. What's the link today? The link is not in the description today, but it is, I think, vidIQ.com/chat if you wanted to have a look at the AI coach. And let's do one more before we go back to audits. Penst asks, are you making live streams for bigger channels as well? Just uploaded my first long form. Used to do only shorts and found it easy to get millions of views, but it feels like low value compared to long form. So to answer that question, yes, channel size doesn't matter, especially randomly. We'll audit any channel, what we tend to do is find channels of interest and intrigue, whether they are big or small. So size doesn't necessarily matter. We don't want to audit another Let's Play gaming channel, for example, if we can. We want to try and audit something a little bit different every single time. And then they're saying that it's... Go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say, you still learn a lot from larger channels. Sometimes people get a little annoyed because they feel like, well, this channel doesn't need help. But oftentimes they're here for a reason because they feel like they could continue to grow. And they also offer a lot for you guys in terms of just what you learn from them.
Oh, also, don't forget this. And just a lesson for all the channels in here, all the YouTubers in here. YouTube only gets harder as you get bigger and higher subscriber count. Just want to make this clear. It doesn't get easier. People think, oh, when I get more subscribers, these things will get easier. No. It'll get more complicated. It'll get more difficult. So this is a reason why a lot of the channels that, we end up coaching are actually bigger channels, not smaller channels.
And I would say, Pentex, if you find it easy, then share your knowledge with the community. Everybody, I want you to ask how Pentex gets millions of views on their shorts and finds it easy. And maybe, Pentex, you can give everyone
in the Discord
200 character answer. And head over to the Discord as well and assist all of these creators who are here to learn. So we'll call that time on the super chats for now, but we will do some more. So if you do send any super chats, we'll probably be able to answer them. But, we're getting into the second hour. It gets a little more stressful as we try to audit more and more channels. But first of all, every single week or most weeks, Viper, who runs our socials, has a Twitter contest. And he does a thumbnail Twitter contest. And the winner here was Lewis. And the thumbnail was for Thief Simulator 2 game. I don't know how this person has got their hand in that position. That looks incredibly disjointed and uncomfortable. But fair game. This is going to be an interesting channel because I think they are a Photoshop expert. So Dan, what I'll do is I'll just throw this channel up on screen. Lewis Angara. Apologies if I've pronounced your name incorrectly there. What's your first impressions?
So I see the Photoshop logo, which is good in this case because I think if it wasn't with the Photoshop logo, I would be assuming this is like, oh, they're talking about like AI images or something. So it helps with the context in that case. These images look cool. Like these are images you could see somebody using as like a desktop background or something like that. But they don't tell me what the video is going to be about, except the latest one kind of does that a little bit. There's a Photoshop logo and an arrow pointing for like a before and after perspective, but that's not done a whole lot on this channel, it seems. And then the titles are also a little bit hard for me to like understand just on the surface. So I turned Dane DeHaan into Levi Ackerman. I don't know who those folks are, and I apologize. Maybe those are names that some of you guys know from being in different communities, but what I see are like, person A and person B, like, and one doesn't have like tape on their face and one does. And so the names aren't really helpful, but what are you showing me in the video? Like, what am I going to learn? Or is it a challenge? Like in that case, maybe the title is okay, but it's still, again, like when I see names I don't understand, that's already like an instant, like, oh, this video isn't for me. And I kind of keep scrolling. So this channel leaves me very like intrigued from this perspective of like looking and reviewing channels. But as a viewer, if these popped up, and I use Photoshop, if these popped up, I don't think I would click on them because I'm just not exactly sure what I'm getting.
I was going to ask you, Dan, what do you think is the motive of these videos? Is it to educate? Is it to inform? Is it to entertain? And it sounds like there's enough ambiguity here for you to not be sure. So with that in mind, let's click on one of the videos. And I'm going to have to mute them because I watched the video beforehand. And it is just music. And they do get copyright claims on their videos, as far as I can tell. There's some copyright claims there. As far as I can tell, there is no voiceover. It looks to be, on the surface, as we're watching through this, a extremely detailed time lapse of the picture that you see in the thumbnail. But it is a 5-minute time lapse. does that help tell you whether or not, Dan, you would want to click on this video and watch it?
I think, well, if it advertised itself as a time lapse, that would have helped. But it didn't. And so I was surprised to see it was a time lapse when we clicked into it. So that's like kind of what I'm thinking. And then it's still the name. Like if I knew who the people were, like if those were more like household names to me, then maybe I would like turning Robert Downey Jr. into Iron Man. You know, that sounds really interesting to me. Like you've taken somebody and then you put an Iron Man costume on them. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Like we're talking household names. We're talking people everyone would know. And if you want to do like these are obviously people from like an anime. So like if you want to go for that community, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just thinking about casting that really wide net, you know. But yeah, it's not super clear on the surface, I guess. But it's my perspective. You know, when you're not part of these communities, sometimes it's difficult sitting here.
You got another take on this, Jeff? I think I've seen enough of this time lapse for demonstration purposes.
For me, I mean, like I said, packaging on this stuff looks good, but I'm in agreement where it really comes down to who it is that they're actually trying to target, right? If you're just trying to entertain people with the spectacle of Photoshop, I mean, okay. If it's trying to be tutorial content, it's missing the mark. And but I'm assuming that that's not what he's trying to do, because it's really completely different. This isn't like how to do this and then they're going step by step. So I'm assuming that that's not what they're aiming for. So I'm just sort of lost on who the target is. That's really kind of what's got me confused here.
I just don't know if I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Would I want to sit through a 13-minute time lapse to see a result I can already see in a thumbnail? I know it's like incredibly detailed, but I can't learn anything from this because it's going so fast. Like I would have to know how to do all of this already to really appreciate this craft and skill that's going into this. I know maybe there are examples on YouTube where this works, but what I'm thinking is this is more akin to a YouTube short. But obviously, how do you take a 13-minute time lapse into a 45-second YouTube short?
Yeah,
without losing so much of the process. And I guess that's what we're seeing out. We're seeing the process, but we're not necessarily seeing an interesting story. Like, why are you making this picture? What inspired you to do this? What are the facts behind the junkyard poster design? Like, it looks a bit like something from Among Us, just looking at that character there. Was there an inspiration there? I don't know. But I'm not learning anything more about the creator and the piece that they're making just from this time lapse with, just music running through this.
It's also very low engagement. I think there was only one comment on the video.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it's having trouble really connecting with the viewer, at least on a human level as well. So
yeah, 3,000 views, 13 comments. It's probably again a bit on the low side unless it's been shared externally somewhere.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're summarizing here is that perhaps the audience isn't engaging with the content, irrespective of how talented and skillful the creator is. There's a lack of connection between audience and creator currently. It's like, yeah, how can we fault the thumbnails? They're just like incredible images.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all they are. It's a what, isn't it? This is an incredible image, but why should I care about this incredible image?
I made a fantasy scene in Photoshop is like the closest you can get to like a light bulb. So that's my biggest thing. But as you said, like, are we going to learn from it? Like, the speed art is cool. That concept is cool. But yeah, it would have been, you could do both. Maybe the one's a speed art and then you follow it up with another one, especially on the more successful ones where you show some of your techniques. Maybe not every single thing, but just some, like, what are some cool Photoshop techniques that someone could take away from that video that made it, you know, that you took a while to learn and now you take for granted because you use them every day?
All right, that is Lewis Angera. And I think that concludes all of the channels we pre-selected, which can only mean one thing. Jeff is certainly ready for his favorite part of a live stream and probably everybody else's.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh, my. Right. So this is how the random section of a channel audit works. We have 585 submissions from the non-gaming section. We have 489 submissions from the gaming section. So we adjust our numbers to match the channels that are submitted. And then our claw picks out a random number and we type that number into our form. From here, we should have a URL. And we don't know what we're getting into here. These are first impressions. As a viewer, am I in the right place? When I glance for the first time at Mr. Theme Park Explorer. Very much a this is what I do on the tin type of channel. 35 subscribers, 7 videos. They are new to this YouTube journey, content-wise speaking, but they have been on YouTube for around about a year. First impressions, let's start with Jeff.
Let's see here. Sorry, I got to punch in on this really quick. Okay. Well, theme park enthusiasts. Okay, so I see what they're trying to get at here. I know on some of these, it could be a little difficult to tell what's going on with the thumbnail, especially this last one, or sorry, yeah, the latest one, because there's a lot going on in this thumbnail. And I never, ever recommend trying to put 3 additional pictures inside of a picture that's already this tiny as a thumbnail is. So let it be what it is. If anything, I would probably remove those 3 little things. And you already have Disneyland Paris in the title, so there's really no need to repeat that in the thumbnail as well. It might have been just cooler, just having the kid with the castle in the background. Would have been a little bit clearer to see. But that's just me on that one. But I like the fact that they're keeping the titles short and concise. That's one of the things I will say about that. But it also consistency can be a bit of a rough thing on this, because it's basically like whenever they get around to like visiting a place. So it isn't like they can do content that consistently, because you see something like 10 months ago, 6 months ago, 5 months ago. Although the last 2 weeks seems like they got 3 videos out in 2 weeks, which is interesting. So
yeah, these are very varied locations as well. We have, I think, a theme park in Croatia, one in the UK, one in Australia, and then one in Paris. At least they're going here, there, and everywhere, which is credit to them.
Yeah,
getting the footage. I like the thumbnails in the sense that you get that feel of motion and epicness, and also just using an emotional word to really have impact. I think they've used the text very well in this thumbnail. They've used the text well in this thumbnail, but the montage of thumbnails, again, makes it perhaps a bit too cluttered.
Yep.
Dan, what about you?
The most popular video is this the next world best roller coaster? And I think that's such a great title. And the thumbnail's good too. Like, you have a coaster and then some text. Because it seems very approachable. Like, it doesn't matter what theme park you like to frequent. Like, that video makes a lot of sense on the surface, which is great. And I love the editing in this too. We got captions, we got a lot of B-roll. We have a lot of talk about different theme parks. Obviously, this is cool. So I think the video brings it. It goes hard as soon as you click, which is really cool to see. I'm sure all the videos have this level of detail, in terms of the edits. The rest of the videos, kind of when I was looking at them, made me feel a little bored. So I visited Winter Park. Oh, okay. I think for these videos to do well, it's about kind of something specific at the theme park. It's great that you visited, but what about it? And a lot of the channels that explore theme parks do that very well. So I would be kind of looking at, as you kind of continue to make videos, explore theme parks, things like that, I would be going in with a plan and going there's this new thing, there's this new ride, there's this new shop, whatever it is. And I want to focus my video around that. And you can also do other things in that video, kind of treat it like a vlog, but make one thing the star of that episode, and then make that the title and the thumbnail and all that stuff. So that's my recommendation. The theme park channels I watch do that very well.
What I found interesting about this video, which I think is the most viewed one, is as we were just scanning through the video, as Dan, you said it was well edited, I don't think this creator has actually been to this theme park or been on this ride. It looked like it was all B-roll footage from elsewhere, but then stitched together in an interesting way, and trying to add transformation to it. So this is an example of a creator working with what they've got. They can't physically be there. They don't have the money to fly over and try this ride, but they can add to the conversation in their own voice and style. And I want to applaud the creator for doing that. They're not using any excuse to not talk about this really, what looks to be terrifying ride, and I would never go on it.
Yep.
So yeah, credit. But at the same time, the videos here where they clearly been there themselves and they've experienced it. So that's brilliant to see from the creator at such an early stage in their YouTube journey.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. This is something that I try to instill in a lot of the tech channels that I've worked with, where they feel like if they don't have the thing in their hand, they can't talk about it. And I'm like, well, you're leaving billions of views on the table.
Yeah.
That's what speculative content is when it comes to tech and a lot of other niches. How many automotive channels talk about cars that they don't actually have and drive? It's insane. So don't let that stop you. If you have an opinion and something to say and you want to make the most of it and get your videos out there, then no excuses. Get out there and get it.
So finally, Dan, title wise, you think this one was most impactful? It brought up a question. It was like trying to make it epic, has a sense of scale to it. More of these probing, curious questions create intrigue in some of the future videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We all agree, so let's pick out the next channel. This will be a gaming channel, and it is 599. We do not have 599, so we'll have to do 500 as the compromise. This channel calls themselves Starfield Dad. And they are a channel that talks about Starfield. Well, the channel banner threw me completely because that ain't from Starfield, is it?
We're talking about Bethesda though. So the same company, Fallout, Skyrim.
Right.
Now, this is interesting. So speaking of speculative content, this channel, I don't know how long it's been around, but Starfield's not out yet. And they said, I don't care. And they started a channel about Starfield specifically. So everything they do leading up to the release of Starfield is all speculative content. And they've been at it for, it looks like 7 months. And they're talking about like news updates. They're talking about like, why haven't we heard anything for a while? Oh, we finally know this. We finally know that, which is cool, which is really great to see. Once they get their hands in the game, you can imagine this channel is probably going to pivot into tips and tricks and things like that. Maybe if the game continues to see content updates, they're going to talk about those. So they're just trying to get in early on a trend, which is really good. I think they will see. It looks like they're doing some memes on the shorts, which is great. And I think that's very fitting for a channel like this. What I would like to see more of on their main video section is titles and thumbnails. I think they could just use some work. I feel like speculative kind of videos like this should be doing a little bit better than 38 views, 154 views. Also, the latest thumbnail looks like a Fortnite thumbnail. It doesn't look like anything like a Bethesda game at all. Looks like Master Chief in a Fortnite thumbnail. So there's some work that needs to be done in terms of their packaging, but I respect the fact that they've jumped on Starfield so many months before we got much of anything on the game. This is a very big game. It's only getting more hype right now. So I would probably be doubling down on upload frequency if possible. And I think there's an urgent need for title and thumbnail work.
I think I've certainly heard of Starfield. Is it one of the most delayed games at this point? It's been
probably
for
it's
years.
The next big franchise I think people are hoping from Bethesda. You have your Skyrim, you have your Fallout. People are Bethesda needs something new, and this is supposed to be that.
I think I'm thinking of another space simulator by Chris Roberts that's been in development for 15 years or something.
Oh, but anyway, Star Citizen.
I've heard of Starfield, but I have no idea who this person is. Presumably he's the lead developer, the creator, etc., etc.
Todd Howard.
But this kind of froze me. This human. I'd probably be much more interested in ships in the game or something associated with what I'm going to be playing rather than a figure who's creating the content. And I just think you could probably benefit at least from some search optimization. I was doing Starfield update and like starting most of your titles or including update in your title somewhere, because that's what we do with YouTube updates. We can make them emotional and trigger the desire of a content creator, but we can also include the fact that it's an update on something like YouTube monetization updates. So content is being recycled very quickly. I think update is just an easy win to include in the titles.
When I see that, I see like what they're doing is they're cutting too deep. Like they're like Todd Howard just dropped more massive Starfield details. No, Starfield update. Look what they're doing.
Yes.
Like, just
let me use that sound effect.
Yes. Super dead simple. Like Todd Howard is a name that you know because you follow this very closely. But I would argue that the vast majority of Bethesda fans don't know or care who the faces are behind it. Like we don't really think about the faces behind game companies. Maybe we should, but we don't. We tend to just be a fan of the property itself. So, you know, Starfield update, that's a really good observation from Rob. Like that's what's missing from this channel. Keep your titles way, way, way more simple and way more approachable. Starfield is what's getting the marketing, not Todd Howard. It's not like you're seeing posters of Todd Howard at GameStop. Okay. You're seeing posters of just the word Starfield and like a planet in the background. That's what the marketing's centered around.
And appetite for updates is probably quite frequent and regular. So 8 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 4 months ago, you're probably not finding yourself in the conscious of these ideal viewers often enough. So whether you want to make shorter videos or, you know, less editing or production, like sacrifice some time on the quality of the production values and more on the value and the frequency of the content that's probably around the Starfield industry right now might be another idea just to get you to create more content. My I often ask this of creators, you know, what's your commitment going to be to your audience? And I think your commitment should be at least 1 video a week up to the release of the content. Ideally, maybe shorter videos, like 2, 3, 4 minute videos that just focus on one update and detail that you can go into. And then another one a couple of days, 2 or 3 days later, allows you to do 2 a week. But I don't know, Dan, well, what do you think, Dan? Like, I know you always tell me, like, just slow down, Rob. Like, not everybody wants to make tons of content, but is that a good argument in this instance when they are trying to jump on a trend that's going to inevitably peak and then just plummet at some point this year or whenever the game's released?
This is, technically this is like the best it's going to be. And every day it is going to, well, no, that's not true. Every day it's going to get a little bit better. And then as soon as the game launches that first week, that's the best it's going to be. And then it's going to taper off. So if you have the time, this is the time to be kind of posting more and experimenting with really way simpler titles and thumbnails.
Thank you for your insights on Starfield, Dad. Let's have a look at Patty from Portugal. And they have 250 subscribers. And they make videos about life in Portugal. I think that's cool. But what I would also want to maybe have some more information about, I don't know if I'm going to see this in the titles, is life as a native of Portugal, or somebody who's moved to Portugal, or somebody who's a teacher in Portugal. Like, how can you drill down into that target audience a little bit more so that you're finding your perfect viewer every time you make a video? Because I don't know, if I start to make videos about living in the UK, would people find it interesting if they didn't know who I was? I don't know. Jeff, I'll throw it over to you just for like insights, titles, thumbnails, what's catching your attention here.
No, I mean, but you actually bring up an excellent point, and in figuring out exactly who you're targeting, regardless of, you know, let's say you're going to be in the UK or Portugal or whatever country, really figuring out who your target viewer is the foundation for everything you're going to do on your channel moving forward. So that's really something that more people need to do earlier on. It's just not spoken about enough for newer creators. But thumbnails, titles on this, I mean, for me at least, well, I can't see them now, so
sorry,
it is what
I'm
it
just
is.
trying to find. I found that they're a web developer in Portugal, so that might be something we could talk about in a few moments.
Yeah, that would make sense. That makes a lot of sense. One thing I would say here is it seems like they might have settled on a font, with the exception of this very last video, which I can't really tell what it says. Yeah, I don't. No idea what that says. It seems like they settled on a font style. They just haven't settled on a color. So it's one of the things where, as far as like your channel branding, when it comes to your thumbnails, you definitely want to start settling on a font that's easy to read, settle on a color scheme for that font, and then start repeating that through videos. Have that become a line through your videos if you're going to put text in the thumbnails. The other thing I would say, now I don't know if maybe it's a StreamYard, but some of the pictures look a little blurry in the thumbnails. I don't know if that's just me though.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Whether it's just like we're taking a still from a webcam that can only do 720p, or like it's a still from
it's just not very clear.
Itself.
Yeah,
does lack a little detail and sharpness. I'm with you there, Jeff.
So what I'm thinking is it looks like a screen grab maybe from the video, and what I would advise this creator to do, if they have a phone, which I'm assuming they have a phone, wherever they're at when they're doing this vlog or whatever the shoot is or whatever, just stop for 2 seconds and take a regular picture with your phone. It'll look so much sharper. It'll look so much better than a screen grab. Please believe me when I say this, that it'll help you greatly, especially if you can capture a picture with like good composition of something that's really cool at the location that you were at. Then it'll help you even more. You don't even have to be in the picture. You could always put yourself into the picture the way you are now, but it'll look a lot better than this like screen grab with like a blurry background kind of a deal, because you can't really see what that is.
Dan, I'll throw it over to you for some thoughts.
I think the question for me becomes, this is obviously like a vlog and you're like documenting things going on in your life, and that's really cool. But when it comes to channels like this, there still needs to be like that through line for like an audience. You're trying to build an audience and a community. And it's not that you as an individual aren't enough. It's just that to get new viewers to a channel and to discover you, you got to have like a common interest with them, And so the fact that you live in Portugal is kind of light, and we kind of need to dig a little bit deeper. So I saw you're a full-time developer living in Portugal.
Yeah.
I wonder if, do you work remotely? And if you do, like, what's that like? Because a lot of people can relate to at least the idea of working remotely. And a lot of vlog channels I look at kind of play off of that. Like, I'm a remote worker and I live in this city, and this is what my life is like. And just the fact that they put in that they're a remote worker kind of like changes the narrative a little bit. Now their videos are kind of made from a different perspective of someone who is, maybe traveling a little bit and things like that. But there just needs to be like just a little more of a draw. And I think that's what's missing from the content.
There's this thing here, this final line, which is just like a tiny insight into a bit of vulnerability. Like, I'm a big introvert, but I want to share my adventures, become an extrovert. And there's probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who share that same belief and desire and goal, just pointing to himself. And like, how can you harness that in your YouTube videos and make that kind of front and center and build a tribe around that? That can be tricky, especially if you're an introvert, when you're kind of almost like a little, what's the word? Fearful of like letting people know things about you. But that's why you're on YouTube. You've stated your goal here, and like, I think there's an opportunity here which takes you away from like the concerns that we have, that are, one day you're celebrating the anniversary of a dog you've adopted, another day you're talking about being a web developer, another day you're going on a trip, another day you're getting a tattoo. It's all like, here's my life, I hope you're interested in it, rather than we all want to go on this journey of discovery and become extrovert, and I'm going to go on that journey. I hope you can join me on that journey. It's a very difficult thing to do. Like, this is big picture thinking. This is like primal branding, and we keep saying this word occasionally. Get the book, read it. We're all becoming disciples of this book after being influenced by Tim Schmeier. So yeah, Primal branding. Definitely something to look at for this channel. Any final thoughts?
Nah, man. Best
All right.
of luck with this. Best of luck.
I think we'll pick out another gaming channel here. This is 109. Not that number. 109. Right. There we go. And they are a shorts channel. Daily stuff.
They said they're doing random stuff at the moment, and they're working on gaming videos.
Ooh, okay. Right, so we're going to ignore the videos because there's only one about how to play a song on a guitar from 6 days ago. Shorts. All right. Not that many shorts.
Not really a gaming channel yet.
Two chess games, yeah. You're on the border here of not really being a gaming channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My recommendation for this channel is to, in the description of this live stream, scroll down. There are a number of gaming videos that are in a list, and the top couple are really recent from us. That's where I want you to go, because we could go on forever on like different, very basic gaming channel tips. But that's what we made those videos for. There's not much here that we can really go off of.
Viral videos, Jeff. Is that their goal? You just told us.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the design.
No, not at all. So virality is so overrated, and I know that is something that people may find a controversial statement, and trust me when I say that it's not, because if you've been around enough channels, if you've been around enough creators and heard enough stories over the past 6 years, I've come to the realization that virality can actually do more harm than good to a creator's mental health when they're not prepared for that level of attention. When you're a new creator, trust me, you are not ready for that level of attention and the responsibility that comes with that. So this is why I am so bullish on helping creators build something sustainable and something consistent, and leveling up quality over time, and forgetting about trying to go viral. Just focus on building a community, because that can do so much for you, especially if you think, like, I've had creators tell me that they think that virality is going to be what's going to get them paid. And I'm like, no, it's not. Building a community of people that do trust you and that do believe in you and that you take that responsibility seriously, that is something that can lead to, full-time income. But yeah, that's one of the things. But yeah, I agree with Dan. If they want to be a gaming channel, I would start with those videos, because they are really good. They can get you started on the right foot with information that you will wish you had when you first got started. So that's where I would be. I would not be posting random videos on this channel. I would get some focus first and get off on the right foot, and make sure that every video you start posting from here on out is aimed at a specific type of viewer.
So I have a recommendation for this creator and many other creators on this live stream. Download the vidIQ app. Don't worry, this is completely free. When you download it, you'll start to go on a growth plan journey. And I'm just going to show you it here. It takes you through all sorts of courses and education. And the first one is foundations, and it will ask you key questions about attracting the right viewers for growth and mastering the YouTube algorithm. And this channel needs to go, I think, through this journey to learn what it is to be a YouTube creator and how to grow an audience, and then also the important questions that they need to answer to start building their audience. As I say, I'm going through this myself, and if you on our community tab, you'll have seen me asking like tons of questions about thumbnails and titles and like audience. They're all coming from this growth plan that's on the app. And as I say, it's completely free. So I'm not trying to sell you anything here. I'm just encouraging you as a starting point for your channel to answer some big questions. And this creator, who currently is doing random stuff and wants to go viral, that course will educate you on the right direction to start being a content creator and find success. And I think with that, we'll go back to Super Chats. And we'll probably have lots of Super Chats. We've got 12. So I'm just pressing some buttons here to make sure that I play the right music. And then we can start looking at some new members that require sound effects. So hello to Butcher Journey.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Moose Now. Very nice. Very nice. You have just started playing GoldenEye 64. What a game. What a game. Joshy12 asks, what makes a successful thumbnail for Fortnite?
Simplicity. And when I say that, I mean the person who looks at the thumbnail understands very clearly in those first couple of seconds what the video is about, what they're going to get out of it. It's not, I mean, you have to keep up to like the standards of good design in some cases, right? You got a lot of competition there. It's Fortnite. So the big shiny text and all that stuff. But ultimately, even if you're not a great designer, it's about the simplicity of the idea in the video. And that's not a Fortnite exclusive tip. That's just thumbnails.
Yeah. And just FYI, if you guys are still adding super chats, we may not get to them. I was going to put the banner down, but it seems to have disappeared. So just want to give that warning to people.
I do apologize.
Come on, bro.
Sorry.
On. What are you doing?
Super sticky from Die Plays Minecraft. I know. Yes. And we've got a super chat also here from Galaxy X Music. Can all of his ideas live on the same channel? 1. Giving skateboarders dollars for completing tricks. 2. Reacting to skate tapes. 3. Personal vlogs. 4. Fingerboarding.
No.
Discuss.
The last two don't match up to me. Even fingerboarding, oh, it's skateboards. No, it's not.
No.
Fingerboarding is a different thing. And then personal vlogs, I would say they need to be skinned still as skating videos. Like, you better be on a skateboard and you better be vlogging by skate parks. Like,
yep.
And the vlogs better be about skating. Like, people like aren't going to watch. And I'm not trying to say that because you're not an interesting person. It's just the fact that you're building an audience that likes these skateboarding challenges where you give money for doing tricks. It's not the same thing. Like, reacting to skate tapes could be similar because maybe they're doing tricks still and you're just like giving your take on it. Like, oh, I wouldn't have done it that way or whatever. But once we get into like the personal vlogs of fingerboarding, you've lost me.
Consider that answered. Good answer, Dan. Haven S, is it possible to go full-time on YouTube making shorts?
Okay,
Possibly,
I actually
yes.
pulled up I'm going to give you the link, Rob. I pulled up an example because, and now I'll caveat this by saying I don't know if this creator's full-time. They certainly play the part if they are.
Yep.
This is a very popular shorts creator who you've probably seen before.
Is it Jake Fellman?
No.
Well, he's gone
Holland.
full-time on shorts as well.
So I gave you the link if you want to pull it up.
Oh,
but,
sorry. I thought you were sharing screen. Right, okay. Just
Come
bear
on
me
now,
one
dog.
second. I know. So this chap, right?
Yes. Go ahead and go to shorts.
Yep.
This is their bread and butter, if you will. So this channel is selling a cookbook. It's like in their channel banner right now. Like, so a lot of what they're doing is marketing this cookbook that they have. So even if these shorts aren't making a lot of AdSense revenue, this is like, you can see there's probably a lot of great opportunities for product placement. There's ways to monetize if you are a familiar face, if you're an influencer, and you've built up like an audience. I like watching these. They're very fun. Overall, they're very fun. This person's really big on TikTok. I think Instagram Reels as well. There's no music if you want to
look
play
at that hair, man.
Yeah,
Good
iconic.
Lord, sir. What a quaff.
They make food from old cookbooks, basically, like ancient like cookbooks, ancient in terms of like 1900s and things like that. So it's really interesting to watch, and they try the food at the end, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. But there's like a lot of, you can see like the opportunities here for making money, but you got to think outside of AdSense when you're a channel like this, because shorts does not pay out super well.
Yeah. They're not even using the description to link to the book or anything, which is interesting.
Maybe a pinned. Usually with shorts, people do pinned comment.
Yeah,
for links.
that's true. Yeah, not even a pinned comment.
No, they're not even doing that. Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
No. What's yours first?
I was just gonna make a joke. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask pop quiz from the 328 million views. How much AdSense do you reckon they've made from that?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say 5 figures.
Okay.
So we're talking like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000.
Like a year?
That would be in totality.
In total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
It's not like full-time income, my guess.
I would say no, but it depends.
I don't know if this creator is full-time on YouTube, but I can tell you that like they're marketing themselves as such. you know, and that they're probably going to sell a lot of cookbooks, and they're probably going to sell. They could probably sell space in their shorts for product placement if they wanted to.
All right, next one. Thanks, Dan, for doing a bit of cleanup there. Music theory for beginners. What is the average number of subscribers channels have before selling courses and community access?
You're already putting yourself into the wrong mindset where you feel that you need to have a certain amount of numbers in order to do that. If you already have the knowledge, there's no reason that you can't start selling them from when your channel is brand new. So all these numbers are going to be social proof, I guess. But if you have this, you need to get out of that mindset where I need to reach a certain number before I can start selling something. No, no, you don't have to. If you're an expert in what you do and you are legit in your knowledge, then you don't need to have a certain number of subscribers. You don't. Honestly, you don't. As far as selling courses, no. I know people that are doing that from below 500 because they are an expert in their field. So even though they don't have 500 subscribers, they're already making way more money than some channels that have thousands of subscribers because they're selling consultation services, coaching, whatever it might be. So I just want to break you out of that mindset.
The final question on community access, I'm assuming like the community tab. That's how I'm interpreting that question.
Or private Discord, maybe.
There are no requirements as such. You need advanced features, and you get that by these requirements here of like either video verification, valid ID, channel history. I would do a search on YouTube for advanced features. If that's the question you're asking, I'm not sure if it is entirely. All right, I think we have a thank you here from Dirty Side Gets Down. This is the first channel we audited today. Thanks for the review. I do have a narrow target viewer, but knows the words in my titles. Using search content to be seen, working towards building a community with more entertainment-based content. Great, so you've got the right mindset there, the right track. Brilliant to see. Jeff, we have some more sound effects that we require for new members of the vidIQ Nation. Don Cato. In your own time, Jeff, sound effect.
I was muted.
Hold up.
There we go.
Thank you. Wow, building the tension there. Next one is Brazilian Fury. He's still... All right, okay. Very unfortunate sound effect there for Brazilian Fury, but that's what you've been assigned for the next 15 minutes. And we've got a super chat here from Don, We, and Summer Fan. Can you share my link in the description? No. I don't have a no sound effect yet, but I will set one up. We don't do shout outs because here's the thing.
You don't want it.
If I shared your link in the description, is anyone going to click on it? No. Because nobody cares, basically.
They're not here for you, and that's why you don't want it from us. You want people who are there for your channel. Everyone here is trying to grow their own channels, where we are catering to folks who have a more selfish mindset right now. They're like, I want to grow my channel. Now, you know, I say that jokingly.
Yeah, but it's not wrong.
It's a different mindset. It's just, you know, that's what it is. You don't want us to push people to your channel because now you've just brought in a bunch of viewers who aren't interested.
Correct. Yep. Otis Dub Beat Saber, you are the only reason I have more than 2 subscribers. Is that because the 3 of us subscribe to their channel? I guess the answer is no. But you are more than welcome. We want to get you more than 2 subscribers though, but not just by everybody who's subscribing to your channel. So make sure you're taking on board all of the advice in this live stream. And I really do recommend downloading the vidIQ app to take that free training course. It's really going to help just build at the very foundations of what you're going to be succeeding in for the next couple of years. On your channel, the Bearded IT Dad, a member of the vidIQ Nation, 1 week into my one-on-one career coaching with vidIQ and Jeff, and he is amazing. So helpful, Jeff. Tell us a little bit more about the Bearded IT Dad.
Oh man, he's got an excellent channel, man. So he's basically out here. His goal is to help people who are either trying to get into a career in IT or already in IT and really trying to figure out their path, their road to success, which certifications, what type of courses. And on top of that, he's also offering some one-on-one coaching himself for people who are looking to do this himself. So yeah, man, amazing channel. So definitely on the right path and doing things correctly, making all the adjustments, open to criticism, and open to learning, which is exactly what we look for in students. So yeah, man, I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's part of the community.
And if you are wondering what is one-on-one coaching, then we are now starting to offer this much requested service, but there are so many people asking for it. We are a little oversubscribed at the moment. Like we had 20 slots available for the live stream last week. They all went within 45 minutes. We are now opening up more slots as we get more capacity, but we're not trying to actively promote it on this live stream because there's a huge wait list. So do some research, get yourself added to the wait list. And when there are more opportunities more freely available, we will let you know on this live stream. But in the meantime, if you want group coaching, where you're not just talking one-on-one directly with Jeff or another creator, we do have the awesome vidIQ Max service, which is peer-to-peer group coaching, tons of sessions, an enormous Discord community now who are just a fantastic group. It's like basically this live stream, but not just for 2 hours a week. It's for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with what's it now, Jeff? Like, are we up to 500, 600 members now of vidIQ Max?
Oh, Max is closer to 1,000, I would say.
Oh my goodness!
But
So
it's still
yeah.
it's an amazing kind of a community aspect of coaching. You still have myself, Travis, Alexi, Tish, but we have some amazing community members and some amazing moderators, and a lot of people in there helping each other out. So it's still an amazing product. I love being a part of it. It's my favorite thing to do all day long is hang out with the Maxers. So, and shout out to all of them who are in the chat hanging out with us. I saw Yucky in here, and I saw EV Tech in here. I even saw J Money Crypto was hanging out in here. So we got a lot of them. Even Slothguard, he likes to hang out with us too. So,
and we do have capacity for vidIQ Max new members. There's a link in the description. I think it's a top link if you want to check out vidIQ Max. So there you go. And we have just a couple more super chats. Younger Pre-Gaming with the $9.99 super chat there. J Money Crypto, again, it might be in a super chat or a super sticky with a $1 there. And Modest Reviews with the $1 there. And we're going to squeeze in this very last one. This is the last one. No more super chats, please. We won't be able to read them out. Van Ders Who. I won the recent Discord branding challenge. I love Discord and I'm very glad it exists. Yes. So kind of alternatively, like we did the Twitter contest this week, but then we do the Discord contest probably the next week where our fantastic chief community person, Victoria, will put up a quiz or a storytelling moment or like a designer's thumbnail or whatever funky challenge she decides that week. She will give you an opportunity to sign up for a competition that could win you kind of like a sneak peek, early entry into channel audits. There's a link in the description for that as well. And I just want to say a huge thank you to our moderators and Vicky, because what she does after every single live stream is not only timestamp all of the channels that we audit, but then takes all of those channels and puts them into a huge database of channels that we've audited, I think, for the entirety of this year, which is incredible. We will end our super chats there, though, because, Dan, I think we have something that we need to revisit from the very beginning of this live stream, right?
Yes. I said a word earlier
now,
today.
Can you just do me a favor? Can you just check that's how we want to read out this word?
Yes.
Okay.
That is it. Now,
that is it. Yeah.
You have to put a hashtag in front of it, right?
Oh, you want me to do it as a hashtag, right? Okay.
Oh, I don't. If you don't, then never mind.
Well,
okay.
It's too late now. So we're doing it as a hashtag, the word, right?
Yeah. So there's a word that was said at the beginning of the live stream. I told you not to forget it. And you need to do hashtag and then that word that was said. Okay. I remember I used this echo effect. Remember that?
I was using this effect.
Yeah.
Jeff, give us an effect just to make this even more hilarious.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, lamb, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkeys.
Oh my goodness.
I had to laugh over that as a chipmunk voice because I don't know if that's copyright or not.
I'm sure it is.
Possibly. I may have just ruined the whole stream, but hey, we're making it happen.
There goes our $50 in AdSense. All right, we're getting a lot of entrants here, Dan. We have more than 100 who were here at the start of the stream. or those who are intelligent and have just looked at the live stream chat and are now just copying what everybody else is putting in there. Well, yeah. Shall we show them what it is?
Sure.
Yay! All right. It was hashtag waffles. That was your secret word.
Yep.
What we do now is we draw a channel to be audited. From those who are in this live stream right now watching and typing in the chat, hashtag waffle.
Waffles.
So, Pilot Geek 015 hopefully we'll be able to find this channel on YouTube. And if we can, then we can audit them. Let me just check. That is the same profile image. So Pilot Geek has 27 subscribers, 30 videos. Let's just start with thumbnails. They need some work. I think we would all agree.
Yes. We can't really tell what's going on in a lot of them. So
Yeah.
interesting pictures. The one I can tell the most is when you can see like the dashboard of the plane. The rest of them,
Yeah.
it's
We've no text. That's like a freeze frame, and it's better than any of the pre-made thumbnails almost.
yeah. So like planes on a tarmac with some text that's kind of hard to read, planes at night, or at least like maybe flying over a city at night, or it's not, I don't know, like the name is like Pilot Geek, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily scream like I'm going to teach you about aircraft. It's just kind of like cool stuff you're seeing that has something to do with planes. And yeah, the thumbnails are really not telling anyone who hasn't clicked on these videos like what they're going to get when they do click on the videos.
Yeah, and it's a common mistake that people make, especially starting out. Too much freaking text, and that's a big thing. If you're not doing tutorials and you're not doing anything like that, if you're just showing people cool stuff that has to do with aviation, then I would suggest a picture that says that. But like a night picture, that's going to be really difficult to pull off. Like the flying over a city of lights. Like I get that that's kind of a screen grab from the video, but that's really difficult to it doesn't really make sense as a thumbnail. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think a little bit more thought needs to go into this. And then as far as like text, there are so many words in some of these, like building a Minecraft airport. Like you gotta chill out on that text, man. You gotta chill out on the text. If you're gonna build a Minecraft airport, I would have rather seen a daytime shot of the Minecraft airport itself, as opposed to whatever that screenshot is.
And then I'm just trying to establish, because they say, where's this? Getting my gaming pilot's license. And then I go to the about section, and it says, all from being a pilot. So I'm a bit thrown. Is this person a pilot of a physical commercial planes, or have they got some sort of, I don't know, is there a kind of a certified gaming pilot's license you get from Microsoft Flight Simulator or something? I genuinely don't know. I don't know if that's like a stupid question. Like I assume that this probably is some sort of certification you can get for a program from Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't know. Because are the same people who are interested in playing video games flying super interested in real life experiences on planes? You would think yes, but that might not actually be the case.
I think it's a different, like, it's a totally different person when you consider like real planes versus video game planes. You know, even if it's Microsoft Flight Simulator, I just think we're talking about a different person. But flying over a city full of lights, it kind of looks cool. But yeah, it's that kind of why, because like, here's the thing. Now there's text over the video and you blurred it out.
Blurred it.
Yeah, like, so there's a long time in the video where you're not letting us see the city. Yeah.
And where's the strip? I didn't really see it anywhere in this view. And there was no voiceover either. There was no experience of the journey, storytelling, those sorts of elements.
So yeah, it's kind of goes all the way back to what we were talking about earlier today. Like, who is the content for? Why would someone watch?
Yep. All right. Do we have time for another channel audit?
I don't know if we do.
Let me see.
If you look around, StreamYard, you might see that we don't have a lot of
You
time.
you press a button, Dan. I ain't doing it.
Well, I got to find the button.
I don't know where the buttons are.
The buttons are here.
All right, let's see what we got here going on. It's terrible. What a waste of technology. I don't know why people do this to themselves. Absolutely trash. I have returneth. And the thing is that I don't get to come on this show very often anymore because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning when they do this. I don't know why they do this show so early. It's really kind of ridiculous. But I do have something that I want to share with everyone. Welcome, everybody, to the Savage Show. I'm back. Dr. Savage here at your service. Rob and Dan and Jeff, I got something I'm so excited about. I can't even begin to tell you.
Tell me more. I'm so excited.
You know, I saw how y'all had that one-on-one thing you were selling. It was really selling really well. Seems like I tried to get it myself.
Yes. Yep.
Not gonna lie. So I tried to do the Savage Academy 101, and unfortunately, the server crashed. There was so much interest, all the interest in the world. And I'm like, I can't figure this out because I don't have an IT department or nothing. I don't know how the internet works, to be perfectly honest. I just pay T-Mobile my money, and that's all I know about it. So I decided, how can I make this extra cash that I need to live this lavish lifestyle that I do? I figured it out. You'll never figure. I'm so excited. This is full proof. Full proof. I'm going to become a professional catfisher. I'm so excited about this because guys are so dumb. I watched a show called Catfish the other day. This dude gave this person, let me tell you, wasn't who he thought it was, like $600. Let me tell you, look, you want me to try it out on you, Rob? I got it. Watch this. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. You're going to be Rob. I'm going to be my professional catfishing account. Okay, so start off and say like, hi, like, whatever.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi there. What's your name?
My name is Rob, and I'm already mildly terrified. How are you?
You're so handsome.
Thanks.
Could you
I try.
pay my rent this month?
Sure. How much is your rent?
$100. And make sure you
pay it on time. Because look, I think it's I'm so excited about this. I think I got it. I think I cracked the egg. I think I got through the matrix. Finally, I have figured it all out. The professional catfishing service coming to you in 2023. So excited. So very excited.
I am deeply excited now. I've noticed how all of the hashtags have changed from waffles to hashtag savages. So seductive.
I like waffles. This is a true story. You know who actually has the best waffles? And this is going to really be surprising, but it's true. HelloFresh. This is true. You know what HelloFresh is?
Yeah.
They actually, it is. You got to dig for it. They are some of the most delicious waffles I had in my life, man. I cried last time I ate it. It's so good. It's so good. I'd like to buy them out once this catfishing service goes over because I'm gonna watch.
Oh, look, Dan, you're so handsome. What do you think about me and you walking on the beach while you give me money? Yeah.
Pay me on time, though. All right, look. I appreciate everyone for joining us today. What do they need to know, Rob? I don't do these outros anymore. You don't pay me enough.
Well, I'm lost. I'm lost for words. I've been savage fished, and I can't deal with it right now. Yeah.
Well, it happens to the best of us. Look, I'll do it. Listen, y'all need to give me an extra check for this. But let me go ahead and catfish these people one last time.
Okay.
All right, look, if you've been watching this show the entire time, actually, they've been plopping these hints down where you can get 100% off one-on-one coaching. All you have to do is put all the words together. Dan has been saying a word at the top of every hour, actually every 30 minutes. And if you just put the very first letter of each word, put it together, that's the code to get 100% off one-on-one. Now, go back and watch the stream a couple times, and you'll get the code.